Welcome back. Every now and then somebody asks, do I have plastic surgery? Do I get Botox and fillers and all that stuff? I guess I should take that as a compliment. But then somebody answers on my behalf and says, of course he does. He just doesn't want to admit it. All right, let me change the lighting. Does this look like I have Botox? Or my forehead? Would I have crow's feet? If I have plastic surgery and injections and Botox, I want my money back. Look at this face. Does this look like a face that was paid for? Egad. Would I be able to do this? I don't think so. A lot of this is good lighting and photography. As some of you know, I have a photography channel where I show people all the tricks of the trade on how to make yourself look good when you're filming yourself. And I'm going to share in a minute some of that stuff to show you how you can light your face so you don't look bad. So that's part of it. Another part of it is I'm not like most people. I am not exactly your normal person that's almost 60 years old. Now, a lot of these people, their comments are based on comparing myself to everybody else that's out there, and I'm not like most people. I have never in my life touched a drop of alcohol, ever. I have never smoked a cigarette. I've never smoked anything. I've never even touched coffee. How many people out there can say that? I'm almost 60 years old and I've never drank a drop of alcohol, smoked anything, or touched coffee. I don't eat bread. How many people can say that? How many people can say that they don't eat wheat products? Something that's not baked in an oven. Almost everything I eat is not cooked. Most of what I eat is not sweet. There are some raw vegans out there, but the first thing they do is go for the sweet fruits and they overdose on sugar. One glass of orange juice has as much sugar as a Coca-Cola. Now, I know it's a different type of sugar, but it's still sugar. It still pumps up the insulin. I've already lectured about this. Look, sugar cross-links the proteins in your skin. So if you're a fruitarian and you eat a lot of mangoes, bananas, and orange juice and all kinds of sweet juices and everything, you're cross-linking the proteins in your skin, and you're probably wondering why your skin is aging quicker than it is. And your teeth are falling out, your hair's falling out, all that other stuff. I just look the way I do because I am the result of my choices in life. Now, a lot of people say, well, I went vegan a few years ago and it didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, after 30 years of doing bad things, you decide to try something different and you're not wowed by the response. Well, first of all, being vegan does not mean you're healthy, all right? There's some of the unhealthiest people in the world are vegans. Great, you don't kill animals, that's wonderful, but most of the food that vegans eat is not healthy food, and that's why I created this channel, to make the distinction. Secondly, it's not just all about diet. A lot of it is other things in your life also. Diet is part of it, but it's not all of it. Yes, I did not look good about 10 years ago. I was eating right, but look at my face. This is terrible. Something is not right with me. And what was not right with me is I was really stressed. My dad was dying and I was in a stressful relationship. And I think nothing ages you faster than stress. That is a big one. There are people out there who are over 100 years old. Some of them drink and smoke. Some of them are not the healthiest eaters, but they don't have stress. That's the number one factor that almost everybody that lives over 100 has in common, is they don't have stress in their lives. So, and a lot of these people that leave these comments like, of course he has plastic surgery, he just doesn't want to admit it. A lot of these people are unhappy. They're bitter. They're just not happy with their life. And plus the fact that all they know is unhealthy people. I mean, come on, knock out, if you have never in your life touched alcohol, coffee, smoked anything, and I stopped eating bread and wheat products a long time ago. So right there, okay? I mean, I'm not talking about junk food. I'm talking about the normal things that people consider normal. How many people can say that? You are the result of your choices in life. How happy are you with your relationship? How happy are you with your money situation, with where you are in life, your job? Do you have to deal with people that's stressful? There are so many situations. Are you in a toxic environment of some kind? It's everything. And another thing is most people eat late. It's not just what you eat, it's also how much you eat and when you eat. Most people are snacking all day long. Whenever you eat anything, unless it's pure fat, you're releasing insulin, and insulin ages you. I've already said all this stuff. And most people eat late. They eat right up to the moment they go to sleep. And I said, stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. Almost nobody can do this. And you have to go to bed early because your healing hormones are released between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. and you have to be asleep for that to happen. Most people, what they do is they eat and they snack and they snack and they have late snacks before they go to bed, and then they go to bed late and they wake up tired and they wonder why. That's because their body's busy digesting food while they're sleeping, so they're not really totally sleeping. Your body is working, and you wake up tired and you look older and you wonder why you look terrible. I've been saying this stuff all along, but people don't want to hear that stuff, and they just go, oh, he looks good. It's got to be plastic surgery, right? There's anybody in America, it's just got to be, if you want to look good. Well, yeah, if you're a typical American, if you're the typical person that eat crap, you eat late, you don't get enough sleep, you got stress in your life, you eat bread, you eat sugar, you drink coffee and alcohol, and you probably smoke, whatever it is, all this stuff makes you old. It ages you. It wears you down. Now, I am not the best, youngest looking person in the world. I have at least something to work with, and then the rest of it I hide with good lighting and photography. And also, look at the rest of the person. Don't just look at the face, and also have a good look at the person overall. Look for clues, all right? Stop just looking at the face. Stop obsessing with the face. Look for clues over the overall picture. What shape are they in? What does their body look like? Do they have hair? Okay? Most people have hair problems. How good is their vision? Look at the overall picture. If your body is not that great looking, all the plastic surgery in the world is not going to be able to change you and make you look overall perfectly beautiful. There's always clues. There's always clues as to the real health of somebody. Now, there are a lot of unhealthy people out there that have smooth skin. Having smooth skin and smooth faces does not mean you're healthy. The reason these people have smooth skin is two reasons: inflammation and fat. If you have extra body fat, it's going to plump you out and hide the wrinkles. Another thing is inflammation. Almost everything people do and eat is inflammatory. The two big ones, meat and wheat, all right? You got foreign proteins and you got gluten, that's inflammatory. Then you got alcohol, then you got sugar. So you got sugar and wheat and animal products and dairy, which is highly inflammatory, and probably some alcohol mixed in there. Inflammatory. Okay, inflammatory, everything puffs out. Some of the unhealthiest people have good-looking skin because they're all puffed out from fat and inflammation. And look at the oldest people in the world. Look at the people that are like 110, 120. They look like Auschwitz survivors. They're all shriveled up. They're all gaunt. You don't see one overweight person ever living that long. The problem is when you have very low body fat, you look gaunt, you look unhealthy, because most people in the modern world, what they see as normal people are people that have inflammation and fat, and they're smooth and they're just kind of plump looking, bloated, whatever, in the face, bloated all over. And that's what they think is normal. So when they see somebody that's kind of gaunt and like, cheeks sucked in and they got wrinkles and everything, oh, that person's not healthy. That person is obviously doing something wrong. They're deficient in some kind of nutrients. Well, yeah, but they're outliving you by 50 years. So you can't judge somebody by their face. And I made a video a few years ago, and that's why I think some of these people that leave these comments didn't see the earlier videos I did. Your body fat is all over. You can't just get a little bit of fat in the face, but no fat in the rest of the body, because it's even. When you gain fat in your body, it's everywhere, all over, even. That's kind of a tricky thing with bodybuilders, because when you want to get all ripped and shredded looking, your face starts looking all shredded and ripped and sucked in and everything. So that finding the balance of having, your six-pack abs, but having a nice smooth face, that is the hardest thing in the world. And I've been trying to play with that a little bit. And I noticed people like me more when my face is a little plumper, but then my body just loses its definition. And they go, Marcus, you haven't been working out, have you? Yeah, I'm working out. I just have a little bit more body fat on me because I'm eating more calories and fatter foods. And I talked about that in another video. The two things. Now, okay, when I looked really bad before, I was really stressed. I was really gaunt. And a lot of that was stress. And my diet really hasn't changed that much. But I always say that's BC, before Kara. So here comes Kara. She took care of the stress department. Everything is wonderful. But she also started making me all this food. And the two of the things that was really common in what she made me, because it just tasted so good, was lots of cashews and maple syrup. Very fattening. You want to fatten out your face. You want to get plump in the face. You want to like smooth out your stuff. Make a lot of the stuff that she has in her recipe book that's got a lot of cashews and maple syrup. Maple syrup is very fattening. It's very high calorie. It tastes great. But if you're trying to lose weight, I'd ease up on the maple syrup. But yeah, so that was, if you want to try to do it naturally, that's a good way to do it. And that's what I was doing. You know, I started getting kind of this plumped out face. He was, oh, you got plastic surgery. No, it's cashews and maple syrup, and I don't have stress anymore. So it's a really fine balance. And people change from week to week based on what they're going through in life. You could look really great one day and not good, and not maybe just because you didn't get enough sleep or whatever. I mean, you know, you cheated a little bit. You went to a restaurant, and we go to restaurants once in a while, and we have something that, you know, maybe we shouldn't, but you know, we're not extremists. We're not like, we need to be 100% perfectionistic extremists. We're not. We like to, you know, go out and experience the world a little bit, but mainly most of everything that we do is raw food. So, and then people say, yeah, well, look how his face doesn't move. His face is so stiff, it doesn't move. Obviously, he's got plastic surgery.
How you doing?
That's another interesting thing about me was ever since I was a kid, I noticed my face doesn't move very much. And I actually capitalized on it when I was a kid. Here's a picture of me when I was like 8 years old or 9 years old. I could talk without my face moving so much that I carved out this styrofoam character and I did a ventriloquist act on stage at school, in grade school. Here's a video of me from 30 years ago. Forgive the hair, but I want you to look at my face. I'm talking, but it's not moving that much. I've always been like this. By the way, I can move my face if I want to. Why would I want to do this? This is really stupid. I can move my face. I don't know. I just like being a very at peace stoic person. I don't need to move my face very much. And as far as surgery, I've been saying this forever. I do not like sharp objects near my skin, especially my face. I don't like needles. I don't like knives. I get freaked out at the thought of blood. I remember in high school, they were making us take our pulse, and they made us jump up and down on steps and to get our blood rate up. And then we had to put our fingers to our neck and feel the pulse and count it. The thought of blood going through my veins and going ba-goom, ka-doom, ka-doom, it freaked me out so much, I passed out. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the men's room with these people hovering over me, trying to revive me. Just the thought of veins and blood and all that stuff, it makes, I can't have my blood taken. I can't handle it. I just can't handle the thought of something sharp sucking blood out of me or cutting into me or poke. It just freaks me out. I would much rather spend a lot of effort trying to find a way to do it naturally than have anything just cut and poke and rip and tear and all. It's just, it's freaky. So that's, if there's a way to do it naturally, that's, I also have an inversion table. I hang upside down. How many people do that? I exercise, I run. How many people do that? I get sunlight. I move my body. I go to the gym. I only listen and watch and read positive stuff. I avoid negativity as much as possible. All the things that keep you young. And it shows. It just shows. I mean, there are people out there that are unhealthy and they have all the plastic surgery in the world, and you can still tell they're 50, 60 years old. They just have plastic surgery and they just look a little weird. So, and then there's people that are natural that don't have plastic surgery. They still look a little old, but you can just tell by looking at people, even if they have plastic surgery, how old they are and what's really going on. You can't really hide it. You just look like somebody that's had plastic surgery, or that you got makeup on or whatever it is. You're trying to hide it. I think people are smart enough to see through most of that. Right now, at this moment in my life, no, I do not have fillers in my face. I do not have Botox. I've never had anything cut or stretched or pulled or whatever. No, I don't need it. I don't think I need it. Do I need it? I hope not. Anyway, who knows? Maybe down the road, I might try it because I'm an artist. I like to make things look good, beautify things. That's why women put makeup on. I don't know. Who knows what the future holds? But right now, no, there is nothing in my face. Ouch. Ugh. Jeez. It's funny how people assume. They just assume because they compare it to what's in their life, what they think is normal. So I'm sorry to disappoint the naysayers. I'm sorry. No, I don't have plastic surgery. I'm sorry. This is just the way I look. So let's get to the lighting part. I'm going to show you how to hide a lot of wrinkles with just good lighting. So I have constructed for educational purposes a mock-up of wrinkles. All right, these are wrinkles, okay? So a wrinkle is basically a V shape. It's a valley. All right, so notice here we have a light coming from this side here, okay? So the light hitting this side of the ridge is lit up. The light hitting this side of the ridge is dark. It's a shadow. So this side has light and this side has shadow. And that's what makes you perceive a wrinkle. You got a highlight and a shadow. That contrast makes it look like that's what shows up as a wrinkle. All right. So what would happen if you had a light coming from both sides, lighting up each side? So let's do that. All right. So less of a wrinkle showing up there, huh? So now you don't see the wrinkles as much because you have lights coming from both sides. So that's the first step, is to have light. If you, whatever direction the wrinkle is in, you need a light hitting it from both sides. The more angles that light comes in from, the more the shadows and the highlights are evened out. And the second thing is, the bigger the light source, the softer the light is. If you just have a light bulb, you still get harsh lighting because it's a very narrow, harsh beam. But if you have a big, giant light, these are called softboxes. These are giant light sources that photographers use, but you can get the same effect by using a big, large window. If you stand in front of a window and you have light coming in from this large 8-foot by 4-foot source, when you're facing the window and the camera is facing you, you should have some nice soft lighting. And if you want to make it even softer, put some white translucent curtains, or even a bed sheet. Just stretch a bed sheet. I made a video about this on my photography channel showing you how you can use a bed sheet to have super soft lighting. There are a lot of tricks to making yourself look much better. The ring light is kind of a cheap little thing that they sell online. You need a big light source, something that wraps around your whole face, all around you, and the bigger the light, the better. I also made a video about how to do photography during the holidays, especially group pictures and stuff like that, or even just one person, how to use a big white wall or a window or a door to make yourself look much better when you're photographing or videotaping yourself. Videotape? Gee, that really dated me, huh? What's a videotape? Bad lighting also accentuates things that really aren't that bad, but makes it look a lot worse than it really is. Lighting has a lot to do with it. It can make you look better or worse. And that's another reason I like photography, because it really makes a difference in how people perceive you. And, plus aesthetics is kind of important. People like to look at nice things. I know a lot of people like to look at ugly things. Anyway, I don't want to be ugly. Now, I do have some things done to my face once in a while. I don't know if it really does much, but I go to a day spa once in a while, and I have what's called a hydrofacial. It's where they have it's like a little suction vacuum cleaner thing that shampoos and scrubs and then sucks the dirt out of your pores. And then another thing I've done once in a while, once in a blue moon, is I get what's called a Genesis laser. It's not really a heavy duty anything. It's just like a little lightweight. It feels like somebody's tapping a a toothbrush on your skin. I don't know if it really does anything. I do it because it feels good. It goes dee, 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 and it just sounds, it feels, it's therapeutic for me. I like the way it feels. And for me, stress relief is, I think, one of my best stay young and feel good things more than anything. And I try to find some therapies that, like, I get a foot massage once in a while. I get the Genesis laser, which, again, I don't know if it really does anything. I just like the way it feels. It's supposed to stimulate collagen. It's like just a really, really, really lightweight laser that just gets just enough heat underneath the skin, which is supposed to, like, stimulate collagen growth. Maybe it works. I don't know, whatever. But so those are the two things I've done. If you really want to know, sometimes people say, when people ask you stuff like that, just say, none of your business. I mean, really, what business? Well, you're in the health field. You should be not misrepresenting. I'm not. This is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I do. But I mean, people put makeup on. Women put makeup on all the time. Does that mean they're lying to the world? So what you see when you see me in these videos is the result of a lot of things. It's a lifetime of never having drank coffee or alcohol or smoked anything. No bread, no dairy, no sugar. I eat mainly raw food, almost no cooked food. That's a big part of it. I know photography, I know lighting, so that's a big part of it. I exercise, I hang upside down, I go to sleep. I try to go to sleep at a proper hour. I don't eat late. I don't eat within 3 hours of going to sleep. So you really can't compare me with most people out there. But I think the way I look and the way I am makes sense. If you think about all that, this is what a person would look like at my age who did all that. You can't just live 40 years of bad life and then suddenly switch and go, I tried that a year ago and it really didn't do much for me. Well, that's because you think you could just get rid of 40 years of bad food choices and bad living in like a few months or a year or two. And plus, everything leaves its mark. You can't just erase 40 years of choices and then just start over perfect. It doesn't work that way. Those 30, 40 years are still going to show up somehow. They're still going to leave their mark. Now, you're going to improve. You're going to be better, but don't expect to look like somebody who's never done any of that ever in their life. You can't compare apples and oranges. Life is an investment. With health, with money, with relationships, with anything. It's all about investments. The earlier you start, the smarter you are, the more of a payoff you get down the road. What you see here is the result of a lifetime of investment in choices, all right? I never partied like other people did and did the things that they did. I just didn't want to. I wanted, somehow, something told me to just be the good little boy and it'll pay off down the road. And it did. At least I can show people, the young people out there, if you hold true and don't do the bad things, it will pay off down the road. You will be a rare person that could inspire others to go down the healthy path. And this is the same with everything. Like I said, with money, with relationships, you got to hold out a little bit. Everybody wants instant gratification. They want that feel-good thing right now. And that's what gets them in trouble. They're not willing to wait to go down the road to have the payoff down the road. Unhealthy people can still look good when they're 20 or 30. There's a lot of people out there who have channels telling you how to be healthy, but they're only like in their 20s or in their 30s. Like, wait till you're 50 or 60, then start, be the proof of the pudding. And even if they had plastic surgery, you can still tell. You can still tell. So really it comes down to, you are the result of your choices. I am the result of my choices. I'm not perfect. I did wheat and bread and sugar for a long time. So it left its mark also. I mean, but I'm doing pretty good. I think, hell, I'm almost 60 years old and, whatever. I just try to share what I do. And if you want to do it, great. If you don't, but don't complain if you can't do it all. And then, you do just, people are really selective with what they do. Well, I'm going to try some of that, but I'm going to not do some of that because that's not fun. Well, then what do you expect? If you're going to cheat, if you're going to just only do a part of it, then don't expect dramatic results all the way across. Most people cheat somehow. They have to have their sugar. They have to have their bread. They have to have their whatever it is, and they get mad at people like me for, oh, he's got to be cheating. He's got to be like doing like, yeah, the typical person would be, but I'm not a typical person. I don't know. I hope this helped. If you want, if you ever meet me in person, come up to me and look at my face really close. I got wrinkles, especially if you see me in bright sunlight, you can see them pretty good. And you can check my face for stitches and needle marks. Oh, boy. Anyway, so that's it. I hope this helped. I hope this cleared up some questions and pondering that people might have. Well, anyway, so that's that. Just try to do the right thing in life. Try to be healthy, and there will be benefits. In the meantime, live life. I'll see you next week. Bye. Watch the anti-vegan people use that part with the bad lighting and say, see, this is what he really looks like. He's clearly deficient. He needs to eat meat. Yeah, let me see what you look like when you're 60 years old.